It's no surprise that Cobra believes in some really weird stuff. And he's prone to magical thinking.
I call upon my wand and my dark powers to turn that light on. Wah-ha-hawk sign. There it goes. Where I have to wave my wand at it.
He's a little dull.
Shaving my head gave me more hair. Fish is classified as dairy. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3, 4. I messed up on the gravy. It turned into bread instead of gravy.
He's a little crazy. And he's got a big imagination.
Unicorns did in fact used to exist. I am something much more powerful than a warlock.
Yeah, he's talked about actually hitting people with chi balls.
That sounds like a plausible story. I believe it.
Yeah.
I got to the point where I got so good at chi balls and I could literally make someone fly against the wall. Like, whoa. I was throwing chi balls at people's faces and they said they've actually felt something. If you get good enough at throwing chi balls at people, you can literally leave them on the floor for people to trip on. There's no such thing as a pizza chi ball.
He's the most magical boy I know.
He's really big into the number 4.
3 and 4.
3 and 4. 3 and 4.
There seems to have been a critical point where he had an affirmation that they were actually magical because of, I'm going to say Alicia R.
Who's Alicia?
Alicia Rhodey's hot. Sue me.
She was going to enter a beauty contest, and he sent a message out into the universe saying, hey, Alicia is going to win this beauty contest. She shows up. She's in a green bikini. Girl next to her was wearing a black one, which are his 2 favorite colors. She was contestant number 4. And at that time, his clocking number was number 4 at Wendy's. And that's all it took, he said. That's it. 4 is a magical number.
A while back, when I was in high school, I had a crush on this girl, and I did kind of stalk her, and I felt bad about it. And I noticed that she was entering a beauty pageant of sorts. So I sent this message to the universe. I said, hey, I want her to win that contest, right? And she ended up winning the contest. And she posed for a photo next to a girl in a black bikini, and she wore a green one, which, ironically, my 2 favorite colors, black and green. And she was contestant number 4. And at the time she had won that contest, I was still working at Wendy's, and my clock-in number was 4, so I thought that was kind of ironic.
I don't know if 3 had an event like that, but he probably just started seeing it everywhere and said, okay, 3 and 4.
Josh was the hire to wipe tables down. So do you think they gave him a 1-digit clock in number? Like, all right, let's make it as easy as possible for this guy. Josh, when you come in, you're number 4.
Say, how many fingers do you have? Not counting the thumb. Never forget, just look at your fingies.
Put another 4 next to that, and he gets a little confused.
Well, he can't add 4 plus 4. Yeah, you got to keep it single digit.
What is 4 plus 4? 8.
Since we're talking about Alicia, crazy conspiracy. This one's racked my brain. The whole idea that he was at his birthday dinner and Clint supposedly told him that Alicia had unalived herself, and that was a means to get him to stop stalking her.
Fuck the trolls who harassed her to commit suicide. You're a miserable piece of shit. Oh, dude, I got so many photos of her. It's hard to let go of her. She was so pretty. That's not what I heard on my fucking 30th birthday. This woman killed herself because of my YouTube trolls harassing her. Yeah, my dad said that. I said something like, God damn it, so-and-so, just because of the whole thing and how it lays out. And they're like, actually, so-and-so killed herself. And I was just like, no. And they're like, dude, her family doesn't blame you, man. You know, this chick could play the cello. She painted, she drew pictures, she loved photography, she modeled, She had a life, man. The parents who cared about her. She was so pretty, dude. I don't even care if I ever get to tap her. If I never get to sleep with her, so be it. I would trade a lifetime of sex to bring this poor girl back, just for her family. Fuck her boyfriend, dude. And, you know, I'm never gonna forget this chick, even if I completely let go of her. I'm never gonna forget her. She was the one that got away, dude. Oh my god. Chicks this hot are once in a lifetime. Holy shit.
Gosh, I don't think she's dead.
What's up?
I think, just so you know, I reverse image search. She's very much alive and still modeling, in fact.
Yeah, she's not dead, man.
Yeah, you're all good.
What the fuck? Why did my parents tell me she killed herself? Maybe she took a break from social media because the trolls were being assholes and my parents don't want me to, like, continue obsessing over her or some stupid shit. Jesus fucking H. Christ. I don't what? Bullshit. So she's not dead. Why the fuck did they tell me she killed herself? I'm glad she's alive and that she didn't kill herself. That makes me feel a little bit less depressed, I guess, but still. You could have just told me, hey, she's not dead, just leave her alone, dude. That would have been okay, sure, whatever.
So you're saying you got together with your parents for your birthday and they told you at your birthday party that she died?
Yeah, that's what I heard. Because someone brought up the number 4, and I was like, God damn it, Alicia Rhodey. And then I overheard my dad say, Alicia Rhodey killed herself because of your asshole trolls, and nobody blames you for it. And I'm just like, okay.
Did your parents say where they heard that from?
No, they didn't.
That would have been a great question for your favorite son to fucking ask him, but he's
very smart and talented.
Yay!
You can cut that out. It seems like something that Clint would do, but it's also something that's being recounted by Josh, and he can't add 4 and 4. So,
yeah,
what do we know what he can and can't remember? I mean,
immediately theorized, well, maybe it's because they didn't want me to stalk her. Surely he would have continued looking up her name, looking up pictures of her, all that stuff. I don't think he would have just like given up, right?
No, I don't think so. But it's funny that you say that the first thing he said was he came to his own conclusion that like, maybe this was all stalking her. Like, yeah. I don't know, Josh, if you came to that conclusion, maybe it is because of that.
It was really quick.
Obvious.
Oh, freaking Columbo here, just immediately coming up with a really strong theory. He's not normally that good at reading people.
No, and then it comes back to like, is Clint a bad dad, or did he realize that he has to lie to the extreme point of telling Josh that she's dead to really get him off her back? Either way, it's not that great. Is Josh that big of a stalker, or is Clint that bad of a dad?
Clint knows that he can lie to him, and Josh will believe it. He did the thing where he photoshopped a picture and told Cobra he was an alien.
And he has Asperger's, and Asperger's take everything very literal. And it took, I won't tell you some of this shit I put this poor kid through when he was little, because I had, dad stories. Do you know you were an alien? I convinced him he was an alien once, and used my Photoshop skills to literally make it real. And he was so traumatized. I thought it was so damn funny, but he was so traumatized. Even now, look at the look on his face. He's like, really? You're going to bring that up?
I'm not counting that one out yet.
I guess it's easy to convince him of stuff, but it doesn't mean you should do it, especially as a dad. How paranoid do you think Cobra is?
I think it could be a roller coaster. Right now, his paranoia is probably lowered because now is out of his life. But there were other times where, like, the Cobra Stompers were around and his paranoia was at an all-time high.
Yeah. It's pretty spooky when people are actually physically visiting you and shoving paper underneath your door. You remember that?
I've never seen that boy move so quick in my life.
Some people, they get the idea that they're being gang stalked. Cobra has mentioned that a few times during the peak of the Cobra Stomper saga. I want to say he claimed he was officially being targeted, gang stalked, stuff like that.
Y'all are fucking gang stalking Cobra and cyber stalking my ass, but then you want to accuse me of stalking Ellen? That's fucking rich. Who the hell's Ellen? And no, I wouldn't steal anyone's panties, dude. That's disgusting.
I'm grateful that he hasn't completely fallen down that rabbit hole, because once you are trapped in that mindset, any inconvenience, any weird thing that happens to you, you start attributing it to the gang stalkers. It'll be anything. My microwave broke. They tampered with it. Anything.
4 black cars and 1 white came down the street. You know what that means.
That means, yes, it's them. It's the gang stalkers. Yeah. There was a comic made out of what was the prototype bit strips.
Yeah, I remember those.
It was called Targ the Target. And it was just some crazy person recounting all the different times that they were being gang stalked. But with these people, it's always really petty stuff. So it'd be like, oh, I was late to work because people were boxing me in on the highway. They did this deliberately. People would walk past their cubicle and they would hear bits and pieces of words and form a sentence of like, you suck, I hate you, we're gonna get you. But it would be over the course of an entire day. So clearly it's confirmation bias and insanity.
In ways Josh suffers from that. How many times has he heard something?
It's kind of funny when I'm watching a Falcons game and I hear someone shout, "That's Gothic King Cobra's favorite football team. Fuck mass shootings." And I'm like, yeah, dude, yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen? Like, we're going to get a video of him peeking out his blinds going, see the mailman right there. The mailman's been following me.
If he went down the path of abusing stimulants versus stuff like alcohol, you're supposed to get really paranoid because you'll stay up for days. Your brain is in perpetual fight or flight. And that's when you start peeking out the blinds and going, oh, yeah.
You're right. Luckily, he doesn't do meth.
No.
Meth is bad news bears, man. I don't fuck with that shit. I smoke weed.
Cobra thinks that Chris Hansen has been actively looking for the swatter for years now.
We got Chris Hansen on the job with his team. We got the Casper Police Department looking into it.
I wonder who put that thought in his head.
I wonder.
King Cobra JFS. Could be a predator's name, but I think in this case it's a successful musician. Anyway, Chris Hansen here of Hansen versus Predators and Catch a Predator. Listen, I understand you were recently the target of a malicious SWAT prank. Nobody will ever condone that. It's so dangerous. I see it all the time as a journalist, and there's no place for it, so I feel bad that you had to go through it. You should also know that my team is on the case and will be investigating and working around the clock to hunt down the person or people responsible. So you can have a seat, relax now, because I'm on the case. Please know that, and that I'll be watching.
Got him to talk about Puff once, which was really funny.
Hello, King Cobra JFS. Chris Hansen here of Hansen vs. Predators. To Catch a Predator, have a seat with Chris Hansen, my new streaming crime network, True Blue, all the rest. And now I have a new show, apparently. Well, to catch a lizard. A big lizard, in fact. Apparently a bearded dragon, your pet bearded dragon that you lost somehow. Puffers, I believe the name is. I see you've been working online to try to track puffers down, but it caught my attention because there are multiple meanings of puffers and the way you've been trying to lure him and groom him into coming back. Puff, or like poof, he vanished. So my team and I will get to work on it as soon as possible. We'll be scouring the internet, all kinds of various bizarre and dark chat rooms looking for him. In the meantime, King Cobra JFS. I'll be watching and listening.
Since we brought up aliens and Josh being photoshopped into one, he has a number of really good alien theories. The Weed Planet, that one is amazing.
Good old Scotty lie, dude. That was a good one.
Space weed.
Space weed.
No, did you hear about that?
Say what?
There's a planet, dude, that they believe that there's a bunch of weed on.
I want to go to this planet.
Dude, I hear you, but no, I'm serious. Like, it's space weed, dude.
Okay, so this planet made out of weed. Is this where the crop circle underneath front?
No, but like, I straight you not. When you're done, we gotta look it up, dude. I'll show you. It blew my mind. I was like, no fucking way. No fucking way. I need to be that farmer. You know, the farmer.
So what if like some seeds of marijuana were somehow attached to an asteroid,
and like it was sucked into a black hole that spat out onto Mother Earth, and then like the freaking asteroid crashed into Mother Earth, and then like the marijuana seed was stored on the planet, and then when it was right
when the bacteria from the marijuana seed brought us here.
Hey, what?
I'll tell you what, I looked into the weed planet, and it was circulating the internet. It's a hoax, but in 2015, some people claimed that NASA found a planet covered in cannabis. Planet X637Z-43, magic numbers there at the end, was found by the Kepler Space Telescope. So Scotty may have actually read about this or heard it from someone who read about it. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I can see him picking that and just reading the headline of it and being like, oh man.
Dude, space weed. Some say it's the real reason why Elon Musk is so invested in space exploration. With the weed planet, start thinking about the Mormons, as people are prone to doing. Do you know about how, with the Mormons, they believe that when you pass, you get your own planet with spirit children?
No, I didn't, dude. How did John Wilkes Booth come to this conclusion reading those tablets?
John Wilkes Booth.
What was his name again? I can't.
Oh, man. Shit. Joseph Smith.
Joseph Smith.
John Wilkes Booth. The reason why I started thinking about it is if Josh really believed in his heart that he was going to get his own planet, if he was a good little Mormon boy, it would be a weed planet. It would just be covered in it.
That would be a good reward, but there are far too many temptations on this earth for King Cobra JFS, and I don't think he'd make it. No caffeine, no
caffeine,
no coffee. You're going to hell.
Dope smoking aliens will make crop circles.
So what if aliens are smoking weed and they're like, bro, check this out. I want to fly down to planet Earth. I want to do a crop circle. It's going to fuck with these humans hard, but that crop circle, bro, it's going to be dank. Watch this shit. How the fuck do we not know that aliens aren't smoking pot in outer space and they're trying to communicate with us through crop circles, man?
When he talks about them finding cannabis in space, he might be referencing the Scotty story. And then he kind of expounded upon that by saying, yeah, they smoke the dope and they make crop circles.
That's like somebody who read like a Tool album lyric and they're like, oh my God, this is real.
Cobra has a lot to say about the Big Bang Theory. Not the show, but the actual.
God, it's not about the show.
Yeah. I couldn't believe this. It's very difficult to make out. But Scotty talks about his version of the Big Bang.
These aliens, right? Yeah. In a space shuttle, flying the galaxy, not even doing nothing. Trying to make a portable meth lab.
To break that down for you, he's talking about aliens having a portable meth lab. I'm going to play it one more time if that's cool.
These aliens, right? Yeah. In a space shuttle.
These aliens, right? They've got this space shuttle.
Flying the galaxy, not even doing nothing.
It's something to do meth in, he said.
Trying to make a portable meth lab.
Trying to make a portable meth lab.
No, listen, some alien shit, dude. Some bomb-ass alien dope or something.
Some bomb-ass alien dope.
Yeah, you know, fucking this alien, right? He fucks up the gradient, and all you hear is a boom!
He fucks up the ingredients, and all you hear is a boom.
And fucking Big Bang.
Big Bang? And look at Cobra look away. He's not having it. He hates this.
Thank God. I don't mean to get all Carl Sagan, but aliens are probably thousands of years advanced from us if they truly exist. And we're made to believe that they couldn't synthesize something as easy as meth, and that's what caused the Big Bang.
But the root of the issue is that the whole concept of the Big Bang is that there was absolutely nothing prior to it. So you can't have aliens. You can't have anything.
No, you're right. That one went over my head. You're right. Okay. That makes a lot of sense now that you put it that way. Yeah. So how are the aliens existing in a spaceship with all this chemistry equipment when nothing exists in the first place?
No, it would have to be.
You got a point there.
I don't know, God cooking up a batch of meth and accidentally creates a universe because he swapped out some ingredients on accident, mixed in some paprika or something. Yeah, that's Scotty's version. But Cobra, he was attempting to give his version. And Scotty cuts him off. Cobra says, the real Big Bang was, and Scotty goes, God farting.
You know what the Big Bang really is, though?
God fucking farting?
No.
And Cobra gets pissed immediately. You can see like he's still kind of cranky here where he's turning his head away. Yeah, he talks about the Earth exploding a lot. Do you recall him talking about how in many instances the Earth is just going to explode?
No, this is news to me. It would make sense if he said our sun's going to explode, but the Earth?
It's always the Earth exploding. Every time.
You also have that theory called the Big Bang Theory, yeah? What if that Big Bang is Mother Earth exploding and then being remade again?
When he talks about the Big Bang, it's always that the Earth blew up and then after a certain amount of time, everything rewound. And he compares it to a VCR rewinding. Everything that's ever taken place, for example, this conversation, it would happen in reverse for some reason until you go back to the point where another Big Bang would occur and we start again.
The bigger question is, what's going to happen when Mother Earth explodes? When it's all said and done? All the energy, all the life.
So I've been alive before, you're saying?
Reincarnation, yes, you have.
Yeah! I'm probably a monk or something.
I mean, think about this, though. When, like, Mother Earth explodes, all the energy from life forces coming and going and living and dying and being born on that planet, on this planet, all that energy is going to condense. And the explosion condenses it, and then it's sort of like a VCR when you're watching it on a rewind. And then it goes, and then as it condenses, it, and then everything that has happened happens in reverse, all the way back to the beginning, and then boom, that bang happens again. And like any asteroids or anything that's in the surrounding area, frickin',
you know what I believe
makes a new planet. Makes a new planet.
There's so many things about this that really confuse me. One, does Josh think that we live in a geocentric universe where everything hinges on the Earth? Because if he believes that the Big Bang is from the Earth exploding and then rewinding, that suggests that like we are at the center of everything, right?
Yeah, I would assume so. That's the way he's kind of putting it down, yeah.
He does talk about the sun exploding, but he talks about this a lot. He's been talking about the Earth and sun blowing up for years now.
The bigger question is what's going to happen when the Earth explodes?
What then if the Earth explodes?
What if, when Mother Earth explodes...
He graduated high school, dude.
I know. He talks about the sun exploding, of how if the sun blows up, the Earth will still even be there to begin with, because wouldn't that cause a supernova, which would just kill everything?
Oh, yeah, it's going to scorch us like ants.
He's convinced that if we have the technology, we will be able to survive it. I'll just put it up here.
When the sun goes out, if humans have developed technology that allows them to survive without sunlight, that technology will only last for so long before the Earth explodes.
The Zach Wade t-shirt is the cherry on,
yes,
on top of the Sunday, let's be honest.
This super intellectual theory that he's coming up with. I like how confident he is that we will potentially have the technology to survive a supernova, but it will only last for so long.
All that energy building up to that point where Mother Earth is like, the sun's been gone for several years, I can't take it anymore. You know what I'm saying? And that's hard to imagine.
It's gonna self-destruct because it's depressed because the sun is gone.
Yeah.
What a wild concept.
However, my point to this YouTube is all of that energy that's been condensed.
Here we go.
Onto the planet's surface, up to that point, is going to be released back into the air. All the gas and the explosion from that. Now, the energy that people have stored up onto the planet.
I'm sorry, it's almost over, but this is pure know-it-all stoner nonsense. I've smoked a blunt, and I'm going to tell you about the universe. Surely you've met people like this.
Yeah, this is also a man who's never sat through a physics class.
No.
I mean,
But he's going to tell you what's going to happen.
he's almost got the concept of like energy and the transfer and how nothing's really wasted.
He will bring that up. So he has quoted Einstein talking about how you can't destroy energy. It's going to get reused, so forth.
Energy itself cannot be made, nor can it be destroyed. This is a theory by Albert Einstein.
But he's talking about gases from the Earth and debris. It doesn't make any sense.
Up to that point is going to be released into the air, and that energy mixed with the gas from the exploding debris of that planet.
Debris.
My theory is that it'll recreate another Earth.
That's a good one. No, I like that one.
He really does believe that Einstein had Asperger's. Albert Asperger's. Get this up.
I believe he had something, didn't he? Or some kind of autism.
He may have had something. It's just, I think it's really easy to be quick to say that someone's on the spectrum because they were fixated on stuff. Back then, he would have just been considered eccentric. I also think it's very unfair for Josh to lump himself in with someone like Einstein when they are very, very different people. I think the reason why he brings up Einstein having Asperger's is to pat himself on the back for being very smart.
I have reason to believe that Albert Einstein might have had Asperger's. My theory, just the way his mannerisms are and shit. Because people with Asperger's obsess on certain subjects, so they excel well in those subjects. Like if they're really good at reading, then they're reading at a college level. Now, people with Asperger's tend to have a very high, sophisticated vocabulary at a very early age. When I was in kindergarten, I had the vocabulary of a 5th grader.
See how quick he is to talk about himself right after that?
He is, and you know what? You're right. To compare somebody that like made equations and Josh can't solve equations, so I mean, he
can't do math.
It's kind of weird for him to compare himself, but you know, he was reading Harry Potter in 5th grade, so you know, he was a special boy.
He got a very high vocabulary. He was parroting words of people beyond his years. Smarty pants. No, I think
he's gonna go places.
He's is he ever? Oh, when it comes to attaching himself to famous people, he believed that he was Beethoven reincarnated. I think this has come up a few times before him.
A couple videos are him where he's noodling on a keyboard and he talks about Beethoven. Those are some good ones.
Yeah. I wish I had the clip handy. There's one where he was making a beat with his keyboard and it was really funny. He was getting into playing on his little keyboard. He thought he was Beethoven. I think he just really wanted to be a famous guy.
Do you think he was thinking about reincarnation at that point too?
Absolutely.
Beethoven reincarnated.
Yeah.
Beethoven died March 26th, 1891, and your boy Cobra was born 100 years later, March 26th, 1991. And, you know, when I first heard Fur Elise, I was like, what is this? I like this, you know? I was very, 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 very young when I first heard it. So I firmly believe that people out there, or whatever the fuck deific force is in charge of making souls, will be like, we're going to take some of this soul, some of that soul, some of this soul and that soul, and stick it together and make a whole new soul. And we'll make this soul's traits predominantly music, and there you go. You're born into the world.
This goes against his 80% British thing, too, because wasn't Beethoven, like, German?
So that completely ignores his rich Viking ancestry. Although, with reincarnation, I think part of that is you don't necessarily have to have come from that bloodline. In this case, it's just like, oh yeah, I heard a Beethoven song, I liked it, I want to be Beethoven.
Yeah, you think Josh could at least read music? No.
Wasn't Beethoven deaf eventually?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah,
sure.
I think he did eventually lose his hearing, and that was a big part of how amazing it was that he continued to compose. I think Josh is tone deaf, but that's about as close as he gets.
Don't want to try to make myself go deaf now, then I would be Beethoven reincarnated.
Josh's guitar playing has a chance of improving if he went deaf, so.
I did like his keyboard stuff. He has talked about how someone can be reincarnated from multiple persons.
I believe that people can be reincarnated from more than one person. Every time a soul or a person passes away, their soul goes to the other side, and then it's just left in a collective, if you will. So then when another person's being made, they can take chunks from different souls and put it together to make a whole new soul, and then stick it in that person's body, and then, you know what I'm saying?
What do you think about that?
It's a soul gumbo? All right.
Yeah, making a roux. Soul food. I couldn't resist.
That's a good one. That is a real good one. Josh, just keep drinking that beer and keep telling me what else. What other thoughts you got up there, boy? What else you got?
I would listen to him speculate like that for an hour. No problem.
I would love to listen to him speculate about his thoughts and ideas that aren't parroted from anybody that go, but.
Oh yeah, to quote Terrence Pop, but.
Oi, today we got these cunts over here. I can't stand any of those guys that he watches, dude. I hate them.
He has a lot of thoughts about the afterlife. A lot of ideas about spirits and what happens to you. I mean, this could be a Josh original. The whole idea that you take bits of souls and put it into one person. It's not that different, though, from just a spontaneous human being having various qualities. It would be hard to differentiate between a person made out of a bunch of different souls and just a normal guy because of all the different influences, right?
It's a very abstract concept for him to come up with.
Only other thing I can think of is if you could somehow have the specific memories or qualities or abilities from multiple people put together. And that would make you somehow different from just being a person who grows up being exposed to so many different things.
It shows that he believes in the concept of his soul. Remember how Bart sold his soul to Milhouse? Like, what if Josh was just down bad one day and he needed a pack of cigarettes? It's like, hey, Scotty, I'll my soul for $5.
He has already signed that thing away to Lucifer. For all we know, he has done some kind of ritual to fork it over.
I already sold my soul to Satan for demonic power and to get better at my music. And it worked.
Fuck yeah! You're right. Well, I'll tell you, he didn't sell his soul in Georgia because he can't play a guitar for shit. So he sold it in Wyoming. So I don't know what the hell you get in Wyoming for your soul.
He simps for Satan, but from what I can tell, he's done him barely any favors besides preventing him from setting himself on fire, doing all the dumb things that he does. It is honestly a miracle he has not maimed himself or set his building on fire.
I agree, because there was that little era where he moved into his apartment building, right? And thing, he's like, I can't spray paint inside anymore. So someone gave him the bright idea to just use wood stain inside. But you know, wood stain, it's not as toxic as spray paint. It's just more toxic. Don't worry. But in wood shop, there was that little fire safe bin for stain rags, because when those oils dry, they're known to get hot and combust
oily rags
spontaneously.
Yeah.
And he was just taking those oily rags and throwing them in his kitchen kitchen basket and just letting him sit there, dude. Like, that did he not burn down that apartment building?
Doesn't sawdust become flammable when it's just everywhere and it's in the air? Is it something about the surface area of it that it can just cause problems?
Silos are known for exploding for that issue with grains because it atomizes pretty much.
Yeah.
And then one spark is just an air to fuel ratio and it'll just explode.
Yeah.
100% that could happen. Oh, I'd love to see Clint get his boy out of burning down an apartment building. How are you going to get your son out of that? I didn't mean to burn the place down.
Bless him. The neighbors are lucky. He's lucky. Let's face it, he's had some close calls, and I'd feel really bad for anyone else that would be a victim of his shenanigans, either getting burnt or just losing all their belongings because his giant pot of oil and French fries burnt the building down. It would be really bad. Him talking about the afterlife, he is really into the idea of food and drink going over there, but also objects. You remember this?
Any food he eats goes to the ghosts or the afterworld.
Yeah.
How do you think, like, dead people and ghosts eat? Here's a little thinker for you. I think that whenever human beings eat food or consume drink, then once it's been consumed and all of that, that food and drink becomes available on the other side. So that when the spirit sees their loved ones or their fans or friends or family drinking it, and they say to themselves, I want whatever they're having. And as soon as in the alive world it's consumed, it becomes available to the deceased, i.e. ghost food.
Ghost food.
And that's some sort of comfort, I guess, if you want to think about it. Like, maybe you're, you know what I'm saying, maybe you have like a great grandmother that just passed away kind of thing, you know, and you made her homemade pie from scratch, and it wasn't quite as good as the way she made it, but it turned out all right, you know. And she's watching you make it from the other side, and she's going, you know, that sounds kind of good. I want a slice of that. And then boom, it just materializes. That's just sort of the comfort of the afterlife, if you will.
That's
some solace in that, I guess.
That's a great concept because he's torturing his dead grandparents. Slug burritos.
Snail stuffed burrito.
Remember when he had the curd milkshake? He had the sausage swizzle stick? Absolutely torturing them, dude.
Of all the people to believe that consumed food goes to the afterlife, it has to be Josh, who makes the grossest food known to man.
They got to be begging for a cup of water, dude. All they're getting is beer and liquor, dude.
I'm assuming that what he's picturing is that the food arrives intact as it was. Isn't there also the possibility that it is coming in just masticated, chewed up, just a big pile of slop because he ate it?
It's like Slimer's just eating all the food and all they're getting is just the chunks that are falling down.
He's talking about a great-great-grandma watching from way above, and you're making her recipe for pie, and it's not as good, but she goes, give me a piece of that. And then she gets to eat it. How did he think of that situation?
What angels in the outfield type shenanigans do we have going on here?
Genuinely believes that ghosts live everyday lives. They wake up, they stumble around, they get hungry, and they want to drink stuff. Why is he so convinced that they got to eat and drink?
Do you think that ghost is standing by his kitchen like, I really want that apple, you asshole. Eat that apple. He's just waiting for him to finally eat the apple. Like, I don't know.
So he expands it to not just food and drink, but objects also go to the afterlife.
Do they have to be broken? So, like, is the Cobra cane in the afterlife?
I love my cane, but fuck off! Oh, God fucking damn it! I'm gonna play the song.
Oh my fucking god, no.
Do they need to be consumed in order? Like, how does, because I remember the food, but I don't remember the objects.
This will help elucidate.
I believe that ghosts live lives just like we do, with a couple of exceptions. Anything we use that gets used up gets sent to the afterlife. So every bar of tactical soap that's...
I hope Grandpa get a boner in the before life and the afterlife, dude.
First thing that he thinks of, objects going to the afterlife, tactical soap, right away. They don't want that anyway. They don't want your weird, stinky soap. I mean, they've got prescription drugs if they want to get a boner.
You think it'd be the other way around, where like his grandpa just takes pity on Josh, like, here, dude, take this. You need to get laid.
Take him down to a brothel or something, some old-timey situation where there's just a brothel or a burlesque house or something where you can get a little extra on the side for a pennyworth. I think it was King of the Hill that Cotton tries to take Bobby to the Hotel Arlen, thinking that it's still a brothel.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
The Hotel Arlen.
That would be Cobra's grandpa saying, oh man, we gotta do something about this. His whole family tells him he needs to get laid. Tanis told him.
My family's all talking and shit in the middle of a restaurant. And my mom's all, my stepmom, it's just something I never think I hear my stepmom say, but she's all, Josh, I think you'd be happy if you got laid. I'm like, what?
She's like a paid feminist, so hearing that from her, that says a lot.
Crazy.
That humans wash with in the real world, once the bars are completely gone, the ghost of that bar gets sent to the afterlife. Who knows, man? Who really truly knows? I believe.
I want to know what all it applies to. Everything that gets consumed gets sent over?
He's working hard to smoke those cigarettes for all the ghosts, dude.
That's a lot of tobacco coming in to the afterlife. He opens by saying they live everyday lives with two exceptions, which he doesn't list. Something that bugs me. Cobra hates living, right? At the same time, he envisions an afterlife where it's basically the same thing over again, but indefinitely. They live lives just like ours, but it's unending.
Yeah, wouldn't you want something different?
Yeah, how's he gonna chill out with Lucifer if he's a ghost getting old bars of tactical soap and pie that someone ate?
He's going all Patrick Swayze on me. I don't know.
Haunting Stephanie after he passed. He talks about Winston, his ghost. He actually believes that Winston could be distantly related to him. And that's why the ghost is cool with Cobra. He's not a mean ghost.
In the apartment complex that I live in, there's a bunch of super old mailboxes. And on the one that has my apartment number on it, there's a name, McNeil. And strangely enough, according to Ancestry.com, I'm related to the McNeils distantly. They're my Scottish cousins. So my theory is that could be why the ghost is so cool with me in my apartment, because I'm a distant cousin of his or hers from the future.
Now, the last name McNeil. Okay,
sounds like
Scottish surname of Irish origin.
80 British and 30% Scottish.
Didn't he know a guy named Zach McGoth?
That one I couldn't tell you.
I thought he knew a guy named Zach McGoth. I'm going to try to find that on the search really fast. But I was going to say, I bet he wishes he was related to him, the McGoth family.
The only two guitar teachers I've had were Zach McGoth and John Rudolph.
Okay, so his guitar teacher was Zach McGoth.
I think it's like Goff, like Goff. McGoff.
Oh, I'm keeping McGoff. That's what it says in the transcript. I'm rolling with it.
That's
canon. It's canon now. Zach McGoff.
Two guitar teachers I had growing up in Valley City, North Dakota, John Rudolph and Zach McGoff. After my guitar teachers,
Wait, was his name Zach McGoth?
Zach McGoff, yeah. And then
wow.
Like
McGoth.
McGoth, yeah.
Okay.
It's like an Irish Gothman. He has talked about how when the Bible talks about God, it is talking about the inner God, as in worshiping yourself.
Missionaries are showing up to my apartment like, can we talk to you about God? And I'm like, I see myself as a God, so let's hear your bullshit argument. Watch me not give a shit.
When Cobra was at the peak of his powers, you remember how he'd go on about how, I don't worship God, I worship myself as a god.
I don't worship some unseen sky god. I worship myself as a god.
He was just on the height of sipping his own sauce.
He was loving himself. Treat that body as a temple, am I right?
He really treats it like a temple, dude.
Yeah.
A couple of windows are broken out. Smoke coming out of the chimney nonstop. Almost all the roof is missing.
He talks about how your gut instinct is your subconscious existing in the future, telling your past self what to do.
You know what? I like that.
It's interesting because he talks about how everything that will happen has happened, past, present, future. Because of that, you can technically talk to yourself in the past.
Damn.
It's pretty abstract for him.
I never thought Josh would get into transcendentalism. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your gut instinct is your subconscious existing in the future, and therefore is telling you, hey, if this is the course of action you want to take, then this is the choice you need to make.
When he says it, it doesn't sound as good.
No, he ain't the guy to deliver that message. Best explanation for gut instinct I've ever heard, I think, came from one of the true crime guys. Your brain remembering bits and pieces of things on a subconscious level, kind of before you yourself have put it together, it knows that something doesn't add up.
I wanted to make a Stephen McDaniel joke there, but I couldn't.
Talking about Jim can't
God
swim
damn it.
again. And I wind up talking about him once per episode. Have you heard him talk about the stoned ape theory?
Stoned ape theory.
Stoned ape theory.
What Joe Rogan episode did he get this from?
So it is real, and it's from a long time ago. It's the idea that ancient humans, Homo erectus, they started eating psilocybin mushrooms, which triggered their eventual evolution into Homo sapiens. It gave them some kind of brain boost.
Okay.
That's the actual stoned ape theory. Josh, he said the earliest humans were the first campers. And because ancient humans didn't have video games and couldn't watch two bitches go at it, his words, they would do drugs for entertainment. They would do any drugs they could get their hands on. And then he goes on to say, that's the stoned ape theory. And that has nothing to do with the evolution or getting smarter. It's just we did a lot of drugs back in the day, stoned ape theory.
Like, the first human beings to ever survive are basically the very first campers. And when you go camping, you're scavenging for shit, you know what I'm saying? But camping today is nothing compared to what it was back then, you know? All of a sudden, they find these magical mushrooms you can eat, and you can eat them, and then they provide a source of entertainment. Because they didn't have video games, or watching two bitches go at each other, or watching people get into a stupid argument on the internet. No, people who first came onto this planet, the first human beings didn't have all of that to entertain them. So quite often, if they found drugs that could get you high and that were naturally grown in Mother Earth, things like salvia, cocaine, tobacco, weed, shrooms, that sort of thing, they would consume them as a source of entertainment. So even before we had cigarettes, tobacco was being consumed recreationally. And tobacco, when it's naturally grown without all the 4,000 plus chemicals you add to it with the cigarettes, I guarantee you natural tobacco is a lot healthier. It's the stoned ape theory, and it's very much a plausible theory.
He just ends it with, it's the stoned ape theory. It's plausible.
Apes did them. Ozzy did them. I mean, I'm going to do them too.
weed cures cancer. And that's why Ozzy still is The Walking Dead.
Who knows if he's actually alive or not. They got him wired up like the Chuck E. Cheese animatronics.
Yeah. Getting my own weird shit now. I read somewhere that a popular theory is we accidentally discovered cooking food. Animal fell in a fire or something. It tasted great. We got smarter. Because for millions of years, we made the exact same tools over and over again. We did the same things. And then suddenly we had this explosion in IQ.
I was going to bring that up if you didn't actually.
Yeah.
That how cooking food actually changed our brain chemistry.
I guess that allowed us to have more calories. We digested it better.
From what I can look up just real quickly, it looks like by cooking food, your body's able to digest more calories. So your body had a surplus energy, which in turn fueled a bigger brain.
I like that more than ancient apes ate psilocybin mushrooms and got smart. I seriously think his takeaway is ancient humans did drugs. The end. Talking about marijuana curing cancer, what about medicinal Mountain Dew?
I tried explaining in the comment section before my friends adopted Dobby, she came from a meth house, which basically means the assholes who were smoking crystal meth in front of their dogs would blow a fat hit of it in Dobby's face.
That sounds awfully familiar, Joshua. The mantis, your other dog.
Obi dog, he loved weed.
Yeah.
And by the time my friends rescued her from that situation, she was coming down off of it. In order to come down safely and save her life, the veterinarian said, I recommend caffeine. So, because my friends drink Mountain Dew, they were like, hey man, they gave their dog some Mountain Dew and Dobby's been a fan ever since. Mountain Dew saved that dog's life.
I'm pretty sure that caffeine is very toxic to dogs. I'm not a vet, but I'm pretty sure it is.
Quick Google search, that's all it takes. And it says, yeah, it can be fatal in large quantities. So, no, that can't be what happened. And if they were doing it, it wasn't good for the dog.
If he was addicted to heroin, would you bring a dog down on Suboxone? Like,
Some
what would
methadone? Yeah.
Yeah, like what would happen? That was a nice little clip of the whole dog just taking away a whole taco and swallowing it.
Don't worry, Jaden Bell, I got one for you too.
Taco Bell, save that dog's life. In terms of government cover-ups, he's talked about how the Area 51 base is a cover-up. I guess he thinks that it's just a bunch of propped up buildings with nothing in them. And he goes on to say that all the real stuff is deep underground, where the government does, quote, alien shit.
Area 51 is actually a top secret military base where they conduct some sci-fi type shit. The military base is just to cover people.
People.
They do alien type shit. And it's all underground so you can't see it.
Quote unquote alien shit, like alien Independence Day alien shit. What kind of alien shit are we talking about here?
The government already has access to real life lightsabers. They've already been developed.
Just shaking his can out of nowhere. Why did he just suddenly say we have lightsabers?
You know he wants it just to light cigarettes with too.
Man used a stun gun to light his cigarette. You're absolutely right. He would use a lightsaber.
Don't try this at home. I'm a professional.
Area 51, aliens, space. Now we're entering some really butt-fucking insane territory.
The former CEO of Amazon, the one that's stepping down, fucked a child in outer space.
And I remember seeing bits and pieces about this, that Jeff Bezos and crew, they took that dick-shaped rocket so that they could be in outer space where it's like maritime laws, and you can just do whatever you want.
The space maritime laws, dude.
Yeah. Anything goes. You got
It's
enough
gonna be like a
Bezos
Pluto
bucks.
Nash where we're just gonna have riverboat gambling right outside the atmosphere, dude.
Hang on, there's this one picture I remember seeing. This is just coming to me now. It was Jeff Bezos and Shatner, but Shatner looked really worried.
He was like 80 something when he went, wasn't he?
I think so.
I'd be worried too. I don't need to leave the earth when I'm 80 years old, dude.
These people, they're probably thinking, yeah, we're going to be fine. No worries. But there's Shatner saying, oh my God, Bezos is having it out with a kid right now. We're going to go into outer space with this kid and we're going to give it to him. And Shatner is worried.
Is that the Zuck, dude? Is that him right there?
Who, on the left?
Yeah, dude.
No, that ain't Zuck. I'm talking about aliens, Zuckerberg. Something that always sticks with me, it was in a comment that someone left. They said that he looks like he pops in a fresh pair of eyeballs into his skull every morning. There he is. They really do. They look way too big, and it looks like you could just go and pop them out and put in a fresh pair every day.
What was that one video he did where he just had that random bottle of Sweet Baby Ray's on his bookshelf, dude?
Oh,
you remember that?
I remember him grilling outside talking about Sweet Baby Ray's, but I think that was a reference to the smoked meats video.
Was that?
Yeah, I think it was a little nod because it was his first Facebook Live. It was the big debut, and he's out in his backyard with some goons, and he's going, yeah, what are y'all doing this weekend? Smoking meats, I hope. We're going to apply the Sweet Baby Ray's to the smoked meats.
We have just applied the Sweet Baby Ray's. Maybe throw some Sweet Baby Ray's on the ribs and take it from there.
Did you see this?
I don't remember it like you do. Damn, you remember it well.
I have a weird memory.
Hey everyone, we are live from my backyard where I am smoking a brisket and some ribs. I'm making meats now. Smoking these meats here. Our little meat smoking. It's smoking. So I'm the meat chef.
I'm the meat chef. I'm the meat chef.
Man,
Yeah,
this
someone
guy's
asked me.
worth how many billions? He's got a green egg and Sweet Baby Ray's.
You know what's funny about this? He has what looks like an everyman's backyard, but what he did is he bought basically an entire neighborhood so that he could be completely alone inside of it.
That's actually pretty cool.
It's fucking weird. Why is that
I
cool?
don't have to worry about any neighbors, dude. That's great.
Just buy a gigantic property out somewhere. Why do you need a whole neighborhood full of empty houses?
Dude, you could literally just go get the mail and put your trash out in your underwear in the morning. Like nobody's around to look at you. Dude.
I could do that if I had a mansion out in the middle of nowhere. I'll bet you Notch could do that in his weird mansion full of candy.
That must feel nice though when it's just a normal neighborhood. And you're like, hey, I bought all the houses.
The whole pedophile kill ring is bonkers. That's what kind of leads to this.
I don't really think Sinead O'Connor, that one Irish singer, I hope I'm not butchering her name.
What is it? Sinead? Is that how he said it?
I believe that's how you pronounce it. It's some weird Irish
I think it's
name.
Sinead O'Connor.
Is it Sinead?
Sinead O'Connor.
If you were to read the text out loud, it would be easy to make the mistake. It's something you just got to hear. But poor Josh, he never had a chance.
I don't really think Sinead O'Connor, that one Irish singer, I hope I'm not butchering her name. I think she was murdered by the pedophiles, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Just like Chester Bennington and Bob Saget's. And they staged it to look like a suicide. The same assholes who wear the owl masks on that one island with Hillary Clinton.
Do you know what he's talking about with the owl masks?
I've never gone into that one. You ever dived into that?
I looked into it because I had heard rumblings of the Moloch cult, which I guess is just this like demonic barn owl that they all worship, supposedly. Now, I think that spiraled out of control because in one of the email leaks, one of the FBI guys or something, he's making a joke. He says something like, I will throw salt over my shoulder. I'll sacrifice a chicken. I'll pray to Moloch. And that's it. That's the only reference.
It's first I'm hearing about that.
I got curious because I wanted to learn more about the supposed pedophile kill ring that he's describing and the other people that were supposedly silenced, because it's a decent list. It is based off of a documentary that was supposed to be filmed that covered all the pedophiles in Hollywood. Did you hear about that part of it?
There's always rumblings of that. Like,
Yeah.
what's his face? Corey Feldman. He's been an advocate about the pedophiles in Hollywood.
What happened? Cobra believes, as do many other people, that Chester Bennington, DJ Avicii, aka Tim Bergling, American singer Chris Cornell, and celebrity chef Anthony Bourdain were involved in this documentary.
They lumped in Bourdain and Audio Slave. I didn't know about that.
The reality was, it never even got enough funding to begin filming. It was a website that I guess was trying to raise awareness and or do a little fundraiser. But it never got beyond that, much less had all these people involved in the filming and production. Yeah, that's where it started.
Interesting.
I just think it's crazy that if any notable person offs themselves, it was the pedophiles. Bob Saget was killed by the pedophiles. I have conspiracies that people pushed onto Cobra. For example, people used to accuse him of having a pet goat. They would say that he had it in his kitchen.
I never had a pet goat. That was just some stupid bullshit people were doing to me on social media. I made a video saying, well, trolls like to get my goat. That's a figure of speech.
I mean, there's barely any space in his first apartment. Where would he even have it? Where's the goat? People who have accused Cobra of being either a clone and the real one is put away somewhere.
Thank you for taking my call. I just wanted to say that Joshua Saunders was murdered and replaced by a clone after successful replication only a few weeks ago. Hashtag King Clonebra. Hashtag Where is Josh? Thank you for taking my call.
The other thing, and we've talked about this before, that broke my brain is the fact that Clint found a different bearded dragon in the parking garage of a hospital.
Yeah, how many bearded dragons are running around Casper, Wyoming in the middle of winter?
That's bonkers.
You can only hope that Clint was just like, yeah, my son shouldn't have this anymore. And he's just like, yeah, it's not the right kind, Josh. We're going to give it to somebody else.
So I guess that's the official question. Was it Puff? Like you said, how could it have been a totally different bearded dragon running around in the dead of winter?
I think it was.
You think it was?
I think it was.
Yeah?
And
I personally think he would have brought it back to Josh.
Wait. Pump the brakes, dude.
Yeah.
He fucking told Josh that Lisa Rhodey killed herself.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Not his lizard?
Well, he's capable of lying. But do I think that Clint considered Puff to be so mistreated? I don't think Clint knew enough about his situation to say, yeah, we need to get this lizard some help. How would Puff even wind up there? How did he make it all the way to a parking garage? What's he doing there? That was a big-ass journey. Homeward bound, but with a beardy.
I can only hope it's alive still and somebody else that is more caring for it.
I'm calling you via Bluetooth. I'm on top of a warm rock inside of a co-ed's apartment. I'm in a much better place, my friend. Please, for the love of God, don't tell the dirt wizard where I am, baby. He's gonna try and put me in the stew. I know he is. He whispers about it in his sleep. He thinks I can't hear, but I hear. Oh, I hear everything, baby.
Okay.
I saw actual cleavage today, like from a person. It was amazing. Come on. Do you have any idea what it's like to experience fresh water for the first time in 2 months? God damn it, seizure. He tried to dip me into caramel. The one culinary thing I've ever seen him do remotely right wasn't even filmed. He made literate like perfect 1800 style caramel and tried to put me in it.
I wish he really would have gotten the fucking more government conspiracies. I would have loved to hear him talk about like the Philadelphia projects or MK Ultra.
Prepare yourself, okay? The ultimate cover up. I want you to get ready.
I don't think Elvis really died. I think that once Obama leaves the office, Elvis will be doing concerts again.
Obama has to leave office first. What? Josh.
Is he or is he not with Sasquatch right now?
And you can call me a nut job all you like. But I've seen some shit on YouTube.
It's just aggressively smoking his pipe. Elvis is alive and in hiding, and Obama has to leave office before he'll return.
You saw a video on YouTube, dude. Was that one that the phone call that you had with him that one time?
Oh, yeah.
You brought up Operation Northwoods, I think it was.
I did, yeah.
Where he was talking to me, you brought up, with like governments and false flag operations. And Josh is like, false flags? My trolls false flag me all the time on YouTube.
One last thing for conspiracy stuff. There is a really interesting Wikipedia article I can recommend to you.
Okay.
It's not as well known, but have you ever heard of Operation Northwoods?
I have not.
It is probably one of the freakiest things you can read about concerning the government. It was I'm basically quoting it, but a series of false flag proposals for the Kennedy administration.
Oh, it's not the false flag of my YouTube videos.
You're not an ordinary fella.